Hey y'all. I know that you're expecting a normal video from me with all the visuals and the videos, and I have so much to share. Prince Harry's engagements in the UK have continued on today, and there is so much to talk about, especially his interview with Allison. I've got a lot to get into, but I'm still working on that video. And as I was finishing that video, I found out the news that the entire Sussex family have met with King Charles. And I just felt like, you know what? Let me drop in, talk about that super quick, not with all the fluff, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming covering Prince Harry's trip. There's so much going on that I'm trying to be efficient as I cover all of this. So if you bear with me, we're just going to be looking at this ugly article with no visuals. I hope you understand, but my normal videos will be back soon enough. So today I'll be reading an article from Janine Henney and Simon Perry titled Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana reunite with grandfather King Charles for the first time in 4 years. Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, along with parents Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex, had a rare reunion with their grandfather at Highgrove House. I'm really surprised about this. Before I even get into the article, I'm going to be honest. I had zero faith in King Charles to make this happen and to ensure the safety or contribute to the safety of the Sussex family. I just counted him out, and I still don't know the details, so I might still need to be counting him out. But so far, so good. They met, so clearly enough came together for this to happen. So I'm not going to sour it with my cynicism. But just know, anytime Charles's name comes up, the cynicism bubbles beneath the surface. I only have so much faith in that man. But if this went the way that it seems to be being reported, good for him, good for all involved, and good for second chances if that's what you want to give. I think it's very big of Harry and Meghan to allow him to see their children, given how he's behaved and the danger he's put all of them in. I think it's very nice of Harry and Meghan and very understanding. They are very compassionate people, and they're just such dignified and understanding people. They have given grace that I can't imagine, and I just always pray for their strength. Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana have had a long-awaited reunion with their grandfather, King Charles, which could have happened when he was in America a couple of months ago. That's me, I added that. Buckingham Palace confirmed on Friday, July 10th, that King Charles and Camilla, the consort, hosted Prince Harry, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and the couple's 2 children that afternoon. The reunion took place at Highgrove House, the monarch's private country residence in Gloucestershire, England. No images are expected to be released from the reunion, and no further details will be provided, as it was a private family meeting. Good for them. I know that's right. Private family meeting, as I reported on my YouTube. But we don't need the deets. I would love to have them, but we don't need the deets. This is a family matter. There's a big difference between the public servants and the family. People magazine understands Meghan and the children flew in from their vacation in Europe for the reunion. It marked the first in-person meeting between Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana and their grandfather in 4 years. Prince Archie and Princess Lili are being raised in California, where the Duke and Duchess of Sussex relocated. I'm not going to go through all that. Y'all know how they love to do. Let's continue. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were vacationing with their children in Europe before Prince Harry arrived back in the UK solo on July 6th for a series of charity events, including the one-year countdown event to the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham. While it was initially announced that Meghan and the children would join him in the UK, security concerns put the plans in jeopardy. It was later announced that Prince Harry would return to London without his family, but the possibility for them to come to the UK outside the capital remained open. And at that point, when all of that was going on, I finally just got to a point where I was like, when it happens, then I'll talk about it again. I kind of just abandoned mission until we got something concrete. I just felt like they were trying to just keep Prince Harry and Meghan guessing, and it just kind of felt like that's what they were doing. I don't know that to be true, but I'm also a Virgo. I'm very impatient at times. I like things to be done decently and in order, and I just feel like some things have a limit. And after you've given me the runaround a couple of times, I'm just going to say, oh, to hell with it. So I was kind of applying my own logic there, because I was just like, I feel like they're trying to put that man, that good Virgo king, through the ringer, and they were getting on my nerves. I'm glad they worked it out. It was reported on July 9th that Meghan, Archie, and Lili would travel to the UK, but they are not expected to make any public appearances. Prince Harry and King Charles each stepped out separately earlier in the day on Friday. Prince Harry tried out some of the sports that will be featured at the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham, about 85 miles away from Highgrove House, while the monarch visited Oxfordshire, about 50 miles from Highgrove House. Meanwhile, Prince William was, I don't care. It doesn't matter what that man was doing. Let's keep going. Sorry, y'all. I'm reading this live with y'all. I know y'all don't care what William had going on, so we're just going to keep it pushing. The then Prince Charles and Camilla previously spent time with his grandchildren during their 2022 trip to the UK, which doubled as the first time Charles met Princess Lilibet, who was born after the family relocated to California. Quote, "It was a fantastic visit. The prince was delighted to see his grandson and meet his granddaughter for the first time," a royal source said then, saying that it was wonderful to have the Duke and Duchess of Sussex back in the UK. The prince and the Duchess of Cornwall were absolutely thrilled to see them. I completely forgot that's what they used to be. I need to go back to calling her that, the Duchess of Cornwall. The source said, referring to Charles and Camilla by their titles at that time. So if this is true, it sounds like this is true. People's reporting it, but we have to just take these things with a grain of salt and hope that they are as accurate, these details are as accurate as possible. But if this is true and if all of this is correct as it's being perpetuated, wonderful. I think that's great. I also think talking about these matters, it kind of highlights kind of the petty that still lives within me. For example, when they say, oh, they finally reunited, my brain cannot not think, well, Charles was in the United States a couple of months ago. Why on earth did this have to wait till now? But again, that's just me. Like I said, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, are very understanding people. They're very dignified and gracious people. I feel like they've given a lot of grace to a lot of people. And that's great. That's in their nature. And I'm happy that whatever needed to occur for them to do this, clearly this is something they wanted to do. Whatever needed to occur to make this safe for them to do, I am very happy that came into alignment. And that's the stance I take. I know that sometimes people can kind of come at me in the comments, and I don't limit my comments. You are welcome to agree or disagree with me. We're human. So I'm not going to be mad, but I have gotten a lot of comments saying like, oh, I can't believe you want Harry and Meghan to see King Charles again. I can't believe you want King Charles to see those grandkids. He doesn't deserve it. And deserved is an interesting word because I've actually heard that applied to a couple of things that I've been like, if you say it there, you have to zoom out and say it everywhere. And does it still work? Because even when I said, I hope that the Invictus games come back to the United States so that I can stay the entire time, someone was like, well, the United States doesn't deserve to have the Invictus games considering who's in office. And I'm like, oh, well, sweetie, never will I ever defend this place. And I will absolutely never defend the person who stole his position in our White House. Okay. Never will I defend this place and our racist history. And, I'm still fighting to be seen as a whole person as a Black woman here. So I'm not defending this place. But what I am saying is when you've been a Black woman long enough, you come to learn that almost everywhere is racist. So it's not about where the Invictus Games deserves to go, because if that was the case, it would probably only be in Montecito in Harry and Meghan's backyard. Like I can't imagine any place really deserving such an amazing organization coming to their country or their state or their city. Every place in this world has skeletons. And so I never look at it as it deserves to go. I look at it as there are people who need the services and what's offered by Invictus and the community that's offered by Invictus. And there are people all over the world who benefit from Invictus. And I hope Invictus has an opportunity to make its way to each and every one of those people. Because if we zoom out and judge every person based on the place and the skeletons in the closet of the place that they live, then none of us will be worthy, because we are all living in places that do horrible things, and that doesn't necessarily reflect our own personal values. And so to that conversation, I always found that to be kind of weird that I got that feedback like, oh, the US doesn't deserve Invictus. And it's like, every place in the world has a tinge of racism, has a tinge of misogyny, has some kind of colonization behind it. So if you're looking at what deserves it, no place does. We're looking at the people who are in need and who benefit from Invictus and the future and the scope of this and of the success of Invictus as well. It's only going to continue to grow and only going to continue to happen and occur in different locations. The more it grows, the more we'll see it travel around the world, reaching all of the people in the corners of the earth who need the services and the community and the camaraderie that it offers. And I only wish it success in that. I'm definitely not judging each individual person based on the values of the place they live, and definitely not on the leadership that's taken their place, because we have corrupt leadership and there are a lot of amazing people here. So, and we're fighting the good fight every day, just trying to get some kind of morality back in office. So while I do understand your sentiment about America, for damn sure I understand it, I don't agree that Invictus shouldn't come here. I kind of think that's a bit short-sighted. And in a perfect world, wouldn't it be great if there were places that were free from some sort of corruption? Unfortunately, we just don't have that kind of world right now, but we can fight for it. And Invictus is a great place to start. So, with that in mind, and going back to the grandsons or the grandkids thing, I don't necessarily want King Charles to have a relationship with his grandkids. I just think if it's what their parents want and if their parents think it's okay, I think that's great because I'm not their mother. I'm not parasocial in that way. I can observe the goings on of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and wish them all the best and weigh in on what's publicly known, and details that have been publicly shared. But as far as thinking anyone deserves to see anyone else's kids, that wouldn't be for me to say. I feel like as a grandfather, he could step up and do a whole lot more. And as a human being, I only hope that he does. I hope that he does. He's a king, but he's a human. And in my opinion, every human should do right by the people in their lives. And when I see someone not doing right, I'm absolutely going to call them out. As I would hope someone would call me out if I were being petty with my grandkids and being a piece of shit. I would hope that someone would say, hey, you're going to miss the opportunity to be in their lives if you keep being a petty piece of shit. Why don't you get it together? And I would hope that I would be smart enough to listen. But that's as far as my involvement or my opinion goes. I'm certainly not going to say he doesn't deserve to see him. Harry and Meghan, take your kids back. Like, that's not for me to say. And I think when people go that far, I think you need to take a break and go outside and touch grass. You have to recognize that those kids have parents who are more than competent and more than knowledgeable enough to know when and how to go about raising their kids and how to integrate them into the lives of other people and vice versa. I'm a little surprised I have to say that because I keep getting that comment. I ignored it a couple of times because I was like, certainly that's misworded. And then I kept getting it and kept getting it. And then I got an email basically saying, how could you ever want Charles to see those kids? And I'm like, child, you haven't been here long if you think I have any affinity for Charles. I have to hold back because I do like traveling to the UK. So I have to hold back so that I don't get backhanded by Charles. I just feel like one day he's going to have enough and he's going to catch me slipping and he's going to backhand the heck out of me and we're going to be tussling. Just kidding. I'm joking. But no, I say I'm pretty candid on my feelings about Charles, and I have been ever since I learned about his relationship with Princess Diana. I've always been a big fan of hers and a big supporter of hers, and learning more about her story put him into proper framing for me. And so everything he does falls within the frame that I have him in, and he's never bothered to step out of that, if you know what I mean. So with that said, if this is true, great for them. Great for them. And I hope if this is what they want, all parties involved are committed. All parties involved who have done harm to the Sussexes. The Sussexes have done more than enough. I'm not giving them instruction, but everyone else involved, hopefully, if this is the path forward, they do what's needed to be done to take the steps forward to create a new reality for themselves. And they cut out the nonsense and they cut out the games. That's as much as I can give it. I always wish the best for the Sussex family. I hope they continue to have an amazing vacation and an amazing time in the UK as long as they're there. I hope Prince Harry's engagements continue to go amazingly. They have been absolutely splendid. The videos, the photos, everything that's coming out about his engagements with the 1 year to go for Invictus have just been thrilling. And I don't think anybody has been more excited than Allison. And we'll get there. I don't want to talk about it now. We'll get there. But when I saw her skip off after that interview, I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I would do the exact same thing if I was able to interview Prince Harry. But we will get to all of that in another video. For now, I will leave you with this. This is all I've got. As more details come out, I will include them in future videos. But good for them. I genuinely did not expect King Charles to make it work in whatever way he needed to make it work. I'm really happy that if Harry and Meghan and the children wanted to travel, they were able to. And I'm glad that whatever meeting occurred, it seems like it went well enough for it to be reported. Great for them. But my priority, of course, is in my mind, I hope the Sussex family had an amazing time and they were treated well and with respect. And if they weren't, and if any of those details come out, just know that I'm happy to get on this microphone and let my shadow self unleash on that family as I have for the last 4 years. It's become somewhat of a pleasure of mine. So treat them right or I'm on your ass. Anyway, that is all I have for y'all today. Tomorrow or Monday, I will be posting the next video detailing the rest of Prince Harry's engagements from today and the ones that I didn't get at the end of yesterday. So we will continue covering his engagements, especially the Invictus Games 1 year to go. We'll also talk about some of his interviews and some of his other fun engagements. I know y'all have been seeing the clips online, so I can't wait to talk about them in depth. That's all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like, subscribe, hype, and share, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.